So somebody wanted to know, what is the basis of the light near dissociation that we see in the Addy's tonic pupil? And it's a very good question because the light pathway and the near pathway are exactly the same. So if you affect one on a neurogenic basis, it actually should affect both. So it is counterintuitive that you could get dissociation between the light and the near pathway. And the reason this can occur is the afferent pathway for the light pathway. Light hits the retina, travels in the optic nerve chiasm, and before we get to the geniculate body, the afferent pupillary pathway comes off the optic tract and goes to the dorsal midbrain. The pretectal nuclei, before the Edinger-Westphal nucleus, which is the pupil part of the third, receive the information bilaterally, and then it is carried on the third cranial nerve to the ganglion, the ciliary ganglion, and then after that, it's the postganglionic nerve to the iris. So you can see the basis of the question. The light and the near pathway have the same neuron. So how could it be that if you have damage here, that you would have a near reaction, but no light reaction? And the answer is you have aberrant regeneration. So after a peripheral nerve is denervated, there's regeneration, and that regeneration can be aberrant or it can be normal. So a normal regeneration, it just goes right back to its target organ. So after the ciliary ganglion, there are two neurons. One is going to the iris and one is going to the ciliary body. The ciliary body is for accommodation as part of the synkinetic triad, accommodation, meiosis, and convergence. But this time, instead of going to the ciliary body or the iris, it got crossed. And that is aberrant regeneration. Because most of the fibers are actually headed for the ciliary body, 30-1. If you have fibers that were going to the ciliary body end up at the iris, you'll have aberrant regeneration. And that means you have poor light reaction because the nerve was damaged, but you'll have a near reaction which will make the pupil constrict because it thinks it's going to the ciliary body, but it got misrouted to the pupil. And so when you do the near reflex, convergence, meiosis, accommodation, instead of getting just the convergence and the accommodation, we get more meiosis. So that creates a dissociation between the light pathway and the near pathway. Aberrant regeneration is the reason that we have light near dissociation in the Addy's tonic pupil, because it's not actually the light pathway anymore. It's the accommodated pathway.